Hi, good morning, and thank you for tuning in to the O'Rourke Report. Before we start, let me just remind you, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button. It'll just put the O'Rourke Report up on your feed. Hit the notification button if you do want to get a little, I think they send a text message or yeah, I think they send a text message when immediately the moment new content is put up. The more important one, I think, is the subscribe button. So please make sure you subscribe. Thank you very much. Okay, let us jump right into Salt Lake. Mary had herself a dinner party to prove that she wasn't poor. I can't imagine what was spent on this party. Uh, she wanted a Tiffany's theme. She wanted a breakfast at Tiffany's theme, and everyone was to come dressed as Audrey Hepburn, as Holly Golightly. And some were able to do it, and some were not able to do it. Of course, you have. Well, we'll go into that in a minute. I just wanted to talk about this decor that she had. Mary's taste in decor tends to be a little garish, but that's just what it's garish to my eye. It's not garish to her eye. I'm sure it's not garish to a lot of people's eye, but she does tend to go for these jewel tony colors. She decided she was going to have Versace place settings in the Tiffany blue color. Oh boy, how many times are you going to use that? First of all, what did you spend on it? And how many times are you going to use that? How many women were at this thing? 8? It could be more. She could have had 10 there. But obviously, she splashed out on this and she expected everybody else to splash out on it. She had, as she's had in the past, remember when she had her Met Ball luncheon with the sommelier, and I think this is when she got into a fight with Jen. Oh, geez, I even forget her name. The one who's in prison right now, Jen Shaw. Jen Shaw. So I was hoping that this would not devolve into kind of a low end act like her Met Ball turned into, despite all her best efforts. So she really put some time into this. And another little thing that we've seen develop is Mary's got a close friendship with Angie, who was has she been on? Is this her third season? It's definitely, she was on last season, I remember. But she's kind of treated like an afterthought. She's treated like a friend, and as opposed to part of the cast. Well, evidently Mary and Angie had developed a friendship. It was really nice to see. The only, and I think actually of all the ladies' outfits for this luncheon, I think the one who really looked the best, put her best foot forward, was Angie. And so, oh gosh, there was something I was going to tie into that. Oh, we'll have to circle back. Oh, yeah. This was Angie's making. There is no way on God's green earth that Angie believes that Gianni Versace and Abraham Lincoln were contemporaries. She was trying to tie into the Greek key design on the Versace's plates with dinnerware that the Lincoln White House had, which included a Greek key design. Now, the Greek key design is as old as the Greek civilization, for God's sakes. Been around for 2,000 years. For some reason, Angie got it mixed up in her mind that Gianni Versace had made the Greek key a design in Popular. No, been around, like I said, for about 2,000 years. So Angie got a little confused. What else did we have at this party? We have Heather, who this year is her silhouette has changed dramatically because she's doing Ozempic or Zipbound or Manjaro, and name any of them. You've seen the advertisements anywhere. They're just advertising crazy. She's obviously lost some, I would say, gosh, she probably lost about 40 pounds, which is a lot of weight. And I just, I don't know if it looks good on her. I just don't know. I think her body is too thin for her. That's just me, I'm sure. I'll get used to it. But anyway, Heather has been very low key because she can't quite figure out why this Bronwyn is going after her. Now, I think Bronwyn was brought onto this cast initially as a friend of Lisa Barlow, or Lisa Barlow. Lisa Barlow was the one who knew Bronwyn and Todd, which is another reason I don't believe that Bronwyn and Todd didn't know that Lisa knows the biological grandparents of Bronwyn's daughter. Okay, does that all make sense? Bronwyn's daughter, biological grandparents, Lisa friend. They tried to make us believe a couple of weeks ago that this was all news to Bronwyn, that Lisa, the Barlows, were very friendly with this older couple. So anyway, yeah, Heather can't quite figure out what Bronwyn's up to, but she decided at this party that she was not going to play. So every time Bronwyn opened her mouth, Heather just blasted her. And I thought she blasted her in a very, I use this word all the time. I use this word when I think they're actually giving us a real emotion and they're telling the truth about something and they're not so conscious of the camera. But she really blasted Bronwyn on a lot of hypocrisy. And Bronwyn, of course, is playing the happy-go-lucky popinjay. Why would anybody say that to me? Oh, do you like my banana suit? I mean, we also were treated to another discussion between Bronwyn and her ex-head of HP honcho, Todd, who you can kind of see why he was, or part of his CEO act. I don't know if he was the CEO, but he was the head of HP. He is questioning her in a very no-nonsense way of why. He told her, I don't like the way you're acting. And not that he's in charge of the way we're acting, but couples are allowed to say this to each other if the husband or the wife is acting a certain way. If the other one doesn't like it, they can certainly say it. Well, he's saying it in a very forthright, direct way. You've changed. You're screaming. You're yelling. You've never done that before. Why would you indulge in anything where you would be humiliating yourself? Or is that the word he used? Did he use the word willing to lose your dignity for? And indeed, when any of these women go into their screaming matches, they're completely undignified, but they also know in the back of their minds, this is what the camera is looking for. This is what the camera wants, and I'm going to bring it. So it remains to be seen whether Bronwyn is able to convince Todd that this whole thing is a hoot. Let's grab the reins. Let's ride it out. Let's become housewife famous. Looks like that's what they're in the middle of doing. Back to and talk about someone who knows that her job is to cause scenes and throw fits. We had Brittani. I think she showed up late. Did she not? We have Brittani pop up and decide, boy, oh boy, she better start making some camera time. And she starts, and I don't even know what her problem was. Does anybody know what her problem was? She jumps up at one point at the dinner table, throws her napkin down in disgust, and demands of the women, what about me? What about me? Well, okay. What about you? I don't even know what her problem was, but she started hooting and hollering and, as Todd would say, losing her dignity all over the place. The other thing we want to mention, of course, Meredith Marks, who goes out of her way and succeeds once again and looking like the biggest fool at that table with her ridiculous bangs. I don't even know what you call them. I think at one point it looked like she took her hair over like this and made bangs on her head. But as you looked closer, apparently she had clip-on bangs, but she wanted to start them here and end them here. It looked ridiculous. There was nothing art, there was nothing haute couture about them. There was nothing, uh, she looked a fool with them. And she gets into it with Whitney, and which is always very interesting. She gets into it with Whitney, and she holds up her phone as proof of something. I'm not quite sure what the proof was, but she's holding it up, and Whitney snatches it out of her hand and quickly scrolls to see other stuff that's in there. Meredith realizes her mistake, jumps up, and gets into almost a wrestling match with Whitney, snatching that phone out of her hands. Now, Mary is doing her best to rein these people in because she has, I can't even imagine what she spent on this party. And she's got parting gifts as well, which she explains in the after show. Because they all did not wear appropriate Holly Golightly attire, she was not going to give them the gifts that she had purchased them. And apparently the gift was individual Tiffany's perfume for each one of them with their name inscribed on the bottle. I can't imagine what she spent for those. I can't imagine. When you have a tiny little keyring this big going for $150 at Tiffany's, I can't imagine what these individually inscribed perfumes may have cost. So anyway, Mary sees this fight going on between Whitney and Meredith. Meredith is losing her cool because she miscalculated. It's not like her to miscalculate. She knows all about the rumors and the nastiness, but miscalculation, she's far too calculated for that. But Mary ends up tossing her out, and then gives her a little room to back down and not have to leave the party. But Meredith has decided, okay, it's too late now. I'm going to have to leave. Hold on. Thank you. So Meredith leaves, and as Mary says, as Meredith leaves the party, she says, "And take them bangs with you." They were really ridiculous. And I'm sure, and it's what everybody is seeing in all the coming attractions. So I'm sure you've probably seen what I'm talking about. If you haven't, watch this week's episode for those stupid ass bangs that she has on her head. So yeah, that's what I have for Salt Lake today. I know last night was Potomac. And one of my faves, Married to Medicine, but I never have a problem with anything on Married to Medicine, honestly. It really is. I just like this cast. I think they're honest and sincere and authentic people. And Miss Quad is apparently back in the ladies' good graces. She was able to squash that beef, as Andy would say. And I'm looking forward to seeing that tonight. Of course, I'll see Potomac, and I'm sure I'll have something to say about that. Okay, we're gonna end this. We're gonna end this with my unpopular opinion. And I know some people are gonna howl over this, and I'm talking about part 3 of the OC reunion. And again, the whole reunion, or the last 2 episodes of the reunion, revolved around Shannon Beador and Alexis Bellino, who, and here's my unpopular opinion part, Alexis may not be the most savvy wordsmith. She may get things wrong, and she allows whoever she's, confronting, she allows little windows to open for that other person to jump through. And so, that's Alexis. But having said that, my unpopular opinion is Shannon Beador is a neurotic drunk who made her first husband's life a living hell with her neuroses. I mean, I used to have a friend like this who always had something, and I notice I said used to, although I still miss her. She was a great gal. Long story short, she was a hypochondriac. She constantly had some ailments. She loved to go to quack doctors and think that she was really getting a value, or quack anything. She loved people who knew exactly who she was, knew how to target her, and target her to keep opening up her wallet to pay for whatever services they were peddling. She was greatly affected by quacks. She would, just lose her money on these people. Well, this is Shannon Bedore. How about the acupuncturist she goes to, somebody else who does the feng shui? Her first husband, she'd snap at him if he took a lemon out of the bowl, because the bowl always has to have 9 lemons. Leave the bowl alone. I mean, she was a neurotic. And she's a neurotic stage 5 Klingon. And I'm sure she made John Johansson's life very, very difficult. So what we see in this 3rd episode, and which is why I'm speaking out about this, they had a confessional with John and Alexis. And John, I believe everything John's saying. I believe he tried his best with her. They did they put a forensic accountant on some of his expenses over what did they go out for 3 or 4 or 5 years? And it was estimated, or it was found, not even estimated, found by this forensic accountant that he'd spent in excess of $350,000, 2 $75,000 loans, one of which he decided, I'm going to get my money back on this one, and which led to her whole storyline this year. Where Alexis and John went wrong this year, and again, I believe this is Alexis not understanding how this was reading, is because we have the ring cam video of the accident and the aftermath, and the messy situation that Shannon's drunkenness once again got her into. Nobody else got her into that. She got her into it. She was drunk once again. Apparently, as we find out, she had gotten physical with John. John's daughter was there at the time, which is when she stormed out. She had evidently punched him. Not that that's a big deal, but who knows what she punched him with. And then she stormed out, threw her foot on the gas pedal and, crashed into a neighbor's house, threw it into reverse and tried to drive away. And then when the cops showed up, she was outside of the car pretending that she was walking her dog, that wasn't her car. I mean, so I'm on Alexis and John's side on this. I think John put up with a lot of crap with Shannon Bedore, who is a stage 5 Klingon drunk who's neurotic and a hypochondriac. He probably wishes he had pulled out years prior. So anyway, that's my unpopular opinion. I'm sure if you don't agree, put comments. Give me comments. Let me know. I think my skin can take a little other side of the coin on that one. So anyway, I will see you later this week. We'll have something to say about Potomac and Married to Medicine. But for some reason, if I don't see you, have a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in to the Heroic Report. And of course, let me mention once again, if you haven't already, and I'm sure you probably have, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you next time.